Matt Bernier joined by DRF National Handicapper Mike Watchmaker, taking a look at the second of three for this weekend's Weekend Warrior. All three of them down at Gulfstream Park on Pegasus World Cup Day. The race prior, race number 11, is the W.L McKnight Handicap. It's a grade 3, a mile and a half on the turf course. Mike, you've got a lot of sort of, let's just say, tried and true veterans in here. You also have a handful of sort of fresh faces that we don't know really what to expect from them just yet on a stage like this. You're going to go to one of the proven commodities, the 10, Mr. Maybe.
I like Mr. Maybe in here, Matt. You know, if you remember back to his Red Smith handicap in the fall of 2015, that was Mr. Maybe's second start since he moved in, after he moved into the Chad Brown barn. And the way he won that race, I mean, it looked like he had multiple grade 1 victories just down the road for him. I mean, it looked like he was going to be a major force in the turf division. He was that impressive winning that day. And obviously it hasn't panned out for him, but you know, he's had a lot of situations that he's been up against it pace-wise or distance-wise, and that was the case on both accounts last time out in the Knickerbocker. I mean, the Knickerbocker was a mile and 1/8 race, and Mr. Maybe's barely getting warmed up going a mile and 1/8, and the pace was very, very slow too, and it held together. And you know, he finished fourth that day. It was a credible performance under the circumstances. Now he's stretching out to a distance at which he's much more effective. 2 starts back, he absolutely destroyed his field in the Johns call up at Saratoga. And if he runs back to that race, he will beat this field and beat him by daylight.
You have a handful of other horses that we talked about that are sort of the old blue-collar types. The 7, Twilight Eclipse, is the tepid morning line favorite at odds of 4-1. You have the 6, Charming Kitten, coming back over here, making his first start since going over to the Curragh most recently in August of 2016. Todd Glebe, who most recently won the 2-mile race, the Alan Jerkins down at Gulfstream. Who else in this field does anything for you?
Well, I know I don't want the horses coming out of the Alan Jerkins. That was the race won by Ted Glebe. That was the 2-mile race last time out, and I just think that field was decidedly weaker than this overall field. I can't go for Twilight Eclipse. I mean, I tip my hat to him that he's still going strong and running in stakes races at age 8 now. But I mean, he's just, you know, even in his best day, he didn't really want to win, and he just doesn't seem to be the horse he used to be, which is certainly understandable. I mean, he's 8 years old now. I mean, if you wanted another contender in this race, I would say it'd probably be Danish Dynaformer, because I thought his second last time out in the Red Smith, it was the 2016 version of the Red Smith, was a very good effort. You know, the horse that won that race, bigger picture, I really liked him that day. The pace really wasn't there for Danish Dynaformer. I'm not sure the pace is really going to be there for him this time, but it was a good effort against a pace that was decidedly against him last time. And he's got a couple of back races that I think make him very competitive in this spot. And Danish Dynaformer would be the horse that I would use primarily underneath in my vertical wagers.
Nice full field in race 11 at Gulfstream Saturday afternoon. The grade 3 W.L McKnight Handicap, mile and a half on the turf. Mike's going to go to the 10, Mr. Maybe, Chad Brown, Javier Castellano with the mount. We're going to take a break and come back with the third and final race for this weekend's Weekend Warrior. Another third down there at Gulfstream Park. We're going to go to the turf sprint.